Hi, I'm Rebecca Anderson.
And I'm Mark. We're your instructors for Literacy Development and Assessment this semester. And we wanted to do a quick overview of the syllabus and some of the key assignments that you'll be working on throughout the semester. First off, we want to talk about the reading assignments that you'll be doing. Most of your reading assignments come from this textbook, Teaching Reading in the 21st Century. One of the authors for the textbook is Michael Graves, who we really respect. We respect his work that he's done in vocabulary research particularly. His wife is one of the co-authors, so just to let you know that we're not an anomaly in the field of literacy in terms of working together. Since we don't meet in person as a class, we have a couple mechanisms for getting us to engage in class discussion over your reading assignments throughout the semester. The first of those will be weekly PowerPoint presentations that you'll sign up for, and you'll create a PowerPoint presentation on a specific chapter. So each of you will do one throughout the course of the semester. For some weeks there will be 2, some weeks there will be 3 total presentations, and for some weeks I think there aren't any scheduled. So you're going to look at the schedule for those presentations. You will look at the topic and the time and sign up for the week that you want to do it. And those sign-ups will be under the discussion forums on the Sakai website. So go and sign up when you get a chance to do that. One note as well, most of the assignments for this class are due Sunday at 9 p.m. At the close of the week, but for those presentations, because your classmates will be viewing them and responding to them, those will be due on Tuesday of the week of the reading at 9 p.m. So for that 1 week when you're doing a presentation, you'll need to do your reading a bit early so you can have that presentation ready for others to read, to view. Another way that we are interacting around the text is through the discussion threads on Sakai. So you'll go to a discussion forum, and then you will see that for each week under that week's readings there are 3 discussion threads. You are going to choose one of those discussion threads, and we're going to differentiate those threads so that some will apply to the PowerPoint presentations throughout the week, some will be geared more towards the high school secondary content area teachers, and some will be geared more towards the elementary school teachers. Just one note, one of the things we wanted to do by having 3 different threads was to streamline those discussions so that you are only reading and responding to a limited number of comments. And so if you get into a discussion thread and see that there's already 7 people participating in that, you'll want to find a different thread to enter, just so that it's not an overwhelming number of people participating, but something that you can process and really authentically engage with in those discussions.
Right, and so it kind of pays to look at the threads early in the week so that you can begin participating to make sure that you are a part of a discussion thread that you're particularly interested in.
And ideally, again, to try to get that sense of authentic discussion, ideally you're not going in just on one day and doing all 3 comments for the week, but that you're checking in 2, maybe 3 times into that discussion, responding to what somebody else has said so that we're building on each other's ideas or understanding. The last way that you're going to process the reading for this course is through learning logs, and these are under the reflection assignments. And what we'd like to see here is to give you the opportunity to have the new book learning that you're doing interact with all of that real learning you're doing in your mentor teacher's classroom on a daily basis. And so we want to see what questions are coming up, what things, ideas or questions around literacy are coming up in your practice on a daily basis. And in these learning logs, which are about a page in length, we want you just to briefly say, how is the reading that we're doing, or how are the discussions that we're having as a class helping to make sense of these, or what kind of questions are they raising in terms of how you see your students' literacy. And finally, I wanted to mention one of the 2 projects that you're doing for this class, and that's the lesson plan project. So as a means of getting you to think about how does all this information that you're reading about literacy this term, how is that going to make its way into your practice on a daily basis. In the classroom, we're going to have you do a lesson plan project for this course, and that'll be due at the end of the semester. And what that will entail is to do some real thinking about who are your students as readers, what are their literacy needs, and design a lesson plan. And this can, depending on where you and your mentor teacher are in the pacing of your work together, this can either be a whole class lesson or it can be a small group lesson. But you're going to take some of the literacy principles that we've studied and apply them into designing and actually teaching a lesson plan, collecting some student work or recording that lesson, and then reflecting and analyzing on what you learned about your students' literacy, what types of things you would do moving on from that lesson, and that reflection piece is kind of the closing part of that project. So that will be posted on Sakai, and you can take a look at that and let us know if you have questions about that.